We talked to Steve Kerr prior to the game yesterday, and my first question was, are you a football fan?
I do. Yeah. Yeah. Big fan. I watch everything.
And who do you root for?
Well, I root for the Niners. I was a Rams fan growing up, and then when they moved to St. Louis, I discarded them. And so I've become a Niners fan living up here the last 12 years.
But then when the Rams came back, you didn't go back?
Yeah, it's too late. It's like, your ex-girlfriend, runs off with someone and then comes back. It's not the same thing. So,
How much blame do you take for the proliferation of the three-point shot?
yeah, I take zero responsibility for that, just so you know.
What? So it's all on Steph?
I blame Steph for all of it, every bit of it, yeah.
But when did you come to the grips of, I'm going to let him shoot wherever, whenever?
Midway through my first season coaching him, there's actually a clip. It's probably right when it happened. It's a famous clip where he dribbles around his back, through his legs, around four different guys on the Clippers with the light blue short sleeve jerseys on.
Yeah.
And he shoots like a fadeaway 26-footer. And they show me on the sidelines I'm holding it. So I don't know if it was that moment, but there definitely was a moment that season, my first year coaching him, where everything I'd ever been taught by all of my coaches, pretty much all of whom were in the Hall of Fame, by the way, everything I was ever taught was, these are terrible shots. You can't shoot that. You can always get a better shot later. And then about halfway through my first year coaching Steph, I realized that's part of his power, and you let him rip, and he's going to take some bad ones, but in the end, he's going to shoot over 40%. And there's something about his swashbuckling approach that is really powerful for the team.
Can you teach it?
I don't think so. I don't think you can teach it. I think players have to have that. But the tricky part is you can. Sorry about my dog in the background. You can get players who have it, but they shouldn't have it. You know what I mean? Like the opposite can be true too. Like a guy who has that attitude, which you kind of admire, but the shooting percentages don't go hand in hand.
But could you imagine, though, Larry Bird with today's philosophy, or throw out whoever? Like, what kind of numbers are they putting up shooting from the three-point range?
Well, I think we're going to see it with Con Knippel doing what he's doing in his rookie year. This is probably the first generation of rookies who have really grown up and learned basketball. Watching Steph Curry and watching the style of play these days with the pace and the three-point shots. And, for most of the young players over the past half decade or so, it's felt more like, all right, this is kind of where it's all heading. And with Knippel, it's more like, this is already where I am right away. And you can see what a great shooter he is, the volume. I think you're going to start seeing more and more players who come in with that approach, because analytically and stylistically, the game has really evolved over the last decade to where it is now.
And Caitlin Clark doesn't happen without Steph Curry.
Right. Totally agree. And it really is remarkable when you think about how Steph has impacted the game beyond just the records and the championships and everything else. It really is an art form with him. And there's only, certain athletes who can really emulate him. But this, in terms of the fluidity and the movement and the grace, but stylistically, analytically, everything has kind of led to this point, I think, in the league. And Steph is at the forefront of that, obviously.
Talking to Steve Kerr, the Warriors head coach. I'm curious that you played for Pop, you played for Phil, you played for Lute Olson. If I said, give me the one thing, if there's one thing you took from those three Hall of Fame coaches.
Yeah, it's a great question. I mean, I've definitely taken a lot from all of them. I played for Lenny Wilkens in Cleveland for 3 years. Brilliant Hall of Fame coach. I think what I would say ties them all together is their authenticity, just to who they are, what they believe in, what they stand for. I think you have to have conviction as a head coach. You can believe in anything. You can come from any kind of background, but the players need to feel that conviction, that authenticity, that compassion for what your players are going through, what they're dealing with day after day. All of those things, I felt from all four of those Hall of Fame coaches.
But do you believe that everybody is individual? Used to be the old school style is you're all the same. It's a team, but there's so many personalities and demands on a game and time and stardom. And so, do you subscribe more to what Phil Jackson was doing with the Bulls?
Well, I think Phil was ahead of his time. He was probably at the forefront of what you're seeing with a lot of modern coaches, which is very much being in tune on the emotional side with your players. I thought Phil came around right at the end of the my way or the highway type, style coaching. And he helped usher in this modern era that we're in where, yes, there's more empowerment for the players, but it's also just society, how different we are, the way we live, the way we see things. And so I think coaches today are much more like Phil than they would have been, during Phil's time, just being really aware of everything that's happening. But what made Phil really unique was his background and his interest and his love for Native American spirituality. And, a lot of people made fun of all that stuff, calling him Chief Triangle or whatever, but it was real. He was so brilliant and so authentic. And we genuinely felt like part of his tribe. He would say that, and we felt it, and that was what made him so great.
Are you and Steph a package deal? Are you going to coach until Steph leaves?
Well, I would never leave him. I can tell you that. I love Steph. I'm so incredibly lucky to have coached him for 12 years. I think every coach kind of dreams of coaching somebody like Steph, who is arguably the greatest face of the franchise of any player who's ever lived. And I will never leave him. I can tell you, I'm not going to become a free agent and go sign with another team to coach, but it all has to play out, with the organization. And but yeah, hopefully that's how it ends up, but you never know.
Trade deadline comes and goes. You were traded 5 times?
Yes, 5 times.
How tough is that? You go home and you tell your wife, and I don't know if you had little ones at home.
Really hard, really hard. It's a lot easier if you get traded in the off season.
Was there a city where you said to your wife, hey, I got traded. Where are we going?
There was only one time when I lived away from my family, and that was when I got traded from San Antonio to Portland. But it wasn't because of the city. It was because I was traded during the school year. And it was just before camp. It would have been probably mid to late September. Kids were already in school, and we just decided to leave them there. And I went up to Portland on my own. And that's a really difficult thing to do, but something that a lot of NBA players end up having to do.
You talked about Steph. I maintain that he has changed the game probably more than any other basketball player from the standpoint of, be like Mike. Nobody could be like Mike, but right. You feel like you can be like Steph. And I don't know if we're getting into Victor Wembanyama. Is he going to change the game? Are we going to look back in, 15 years and say, oh, my gosh, he started this? But then I don't know. Steph's so unique that we've seen big men who are athletic and, Dirk could shoot from the perimeter. But Wembanyama, the fact that he is so good at both ends of the floor, I don't know if he reminds you of anybody else.
No, I mean, if you think it would be hard to be like Mike, imagine telling your kid be like Victor. I mean, good luck.
Be taller. Yeah.
Yeah, just be taller. Keep eating those carrots, son. I don't know. I just think he is more of a unicorn than anybody I've ever seen. Just the size and the skill, but also the awareness, the desire to be great. You can see it. I've never even talked to him or met him, but you can see it. Just in the way he carries himself. But there's so few people who are ever born to look like that, and I think that's what Steph's appeal is, to so many people, boys and girls. I mean, he is he's someone who at least you can imagine being like for real. Now, that's not really true either because he has the greatest hand-eye coordination of anybody on earth, but he's inspiring so many people, and it's really fun to watch.
I think you had 30 career starts. That sound about right?
That sounds like a lot, actually.
No, yeah, I looked it up. I think
Okay.
one year you had, like 20 starts.
Yeah.
And you might have the fewest starts. You might be the most famous person in NBA history with the fewest starts. Rings per start ratio, I mean, it's pretty good.
Yeah, I'm very proud of that.
I'm sure you are. I'm sure you are. I'm curious if your kids know the feeling of when you yell at Draymond. Did they ever know that wrath, when you yell at him?
To be fair, my kids have never yelled at me like Draymond yelled.
Fair enough. But you've never run them. You probably sent your kids basically to the showers.
Yeah, send them to an early shower and early bedtime. That might have happened a couple of times back in the day.
But you and Draymond are going to be friends for life, right?
He is the best. He's so emotional and passionate, and we've been connected for 12 years in this quest to win. And he's the first to tell you he's flawed, and he goes overboard at times. But he's such a competitor, and his will to win is kind of what's not only gotten him this far, but also gotten him into trouble over the years, and he knows that. And so that's been something that he and I have really tried to work on together, and kind of embrace, because you can't win without competitive desire like that on your team.
Thanks for taking time. I know you're busy, and good luck.
Always good to see you, Dan.
Steve, his dog started attacking him, and I'm like, somebody loves you,